My name's Sean Moser. I'm the owner and operator of Legacy Deck Builders, and we're in Central Illinois. We will service within 60 miles of Springfield, Illinois. The craziest thing is 7 days, within 7 days of us going live, I got 9 calls for deck bids, and we landed 6 of those 9, which
Nice.
was insane. So if it's going to be like this, I'm going to have to like chill a little bit because it's so much work. And we started late. I mean, I want to say we didn't start until like September.
Yeah,
But
that was going to be one of the things. Do you remember? I'd have to look at it, but it's not more than 3 months.
no, I want to say no,
August?
we've only made 2 payments.
Yeah, so
So
August.
yeah, August and
Yeah, August and
September.
then September. We're getting in October. Yeah.
Yeah. But those 6 decks, the average deck on those 6 decks for me legitimately is about 18,000 a deck. So, I mean, you can do the math. What is that?
100K, a little over.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about that, you're like, okay, well, 100K doesn't go in my pocket. That's the whole total deck.
Right.
But when you
Right.
look at it, it's like, okay, well, my profit, on an $18,000 deck is like 9, 10, $11,000. So then you look at, holy crap, I'm bringing in $75,000. So I'm just floored of, I can't wait to see what it's going to look like in January and February, and maybe possibly starting our deck season in February or March as opposed to June or July, and just really see how much we can bring in.
Well, and what I see with a lot of people, pretty sure I've told you, I used to build decks when I was younger. We didn't see that, like you were saying, we didn't see it start to take off until it started to get warmer. But what I've seen working with deck builders now for several years is that the ones who are really positioned correctly, have the right foundation, they start getting calls in the middle of January with people who have money in their bank. They're
Yep.
ready to buy. They know what they want. They're trying to get ahead of everybody else because they know that if they wait till July, that there's going to be a big delay before they can actually get it built. So
Right.
deck season actually starts in January. You have to start planning. You have to start going out and doing bids. If you're in an area where you can't build, that's fine. But if you start getting those calls in January, then February, March, like you're not wondering where your leads are going to be
Right.
coming from. You're not wondering where the jobs are.
Contacted a couple of companies. One company was like, he was very interested in, let's build out a website and let's do this. And it doesn't matter if you're a deck builder or not, we'll do it all. And, uh, you know, they gave me a price and the price was competitive, but I don't know. So when you and I talked, it felt natural. It felt great. We walked me through everything step by step, which is amazing.
Was there an aha moment where you're like, okay, this is the guy I'm going to go with because it sounds
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I've been wanting to rebrand probably for a year or so, and I just I knew how to do it, but I didn't want to have to, talk to a graphic designer, and I got quotes for build outs of a website for $6,000, and I was like, man, I gotta wait till I get a little bit bigger for that. Well, if you wait to do the marketing, you're just doing word of mouth, which is great. A lot of people do their business plan and brag about everything's word of mouth. I don't do it. I don't pay any money in marketing. Well, that's great, but you're going to cap out at one point. And the aha moment was with me was when we had the conversation, and I would always Google, my name and see if it would come up, and it would never come up. And I'm like, man, what am I doing wrong? But when you and I had the conversation, you're like, well, there's got to be a Dex or deck builder in your name. I'm like, really? So then I started kind of Googling myself, like, deck builders near me, fence builders near me, and all these names were popping up. And I was like, man, okay, that I get it. So that's when I started kind of looking, and is really the aha moment for me was like when you said it has to have it in your name. Another thing that was keeping me from going with a company like yours was I was afraid it was going to be crazy expensive. I mean, you're looking $6,000 for a website, and then you got to pay a graphic designer for your logo and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, I just don't know if I have the cash flow right now for that. And then when we talked, and I was honest with you and said, it just depends on how much. And you shot me a price, is like I was blown away by how affordable it was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I know as we get busier, that price is going to go up, and I'm totally fine with that because it's just going to, you got the way I used to do business is you spend money on where you want to be, not where you are right now.
somebody else who signed up right around when you did, and they said that their competing quote that they got was $10,000 just for the website that didn't include SEO or like
Yeah.
the Google business profile or helping with ads. And they're like, that's insane. Now, don't get me wrong, their $10,000 websites can be valuable, but these people try to charge that up front so that they get paid and then they don't care about your results. And really, you'll end up with a $10,000 website. It's just we'll incrementally get there. I don't need to charge you that up front in order to lay the foundation. Like we were just talking about, having the right branding, having the right social media set up and
Yeah.
everything linking to each other. And like there's all this technical stuff that you need for that foundation. And if you just throw $10,000 at a website, you might not get any leads. We probably have less than 5 actual pages on your website right now,
Yeah.
but you don't need any more than that right now. And then as we get projects going, we'll do blogs and say, hey, we did this in this area and we did this in this area.
Yep.
And that'll turn into content that'll go on your Google business profile, on social media accounts, onto the website, all that stuff. And then you build that up over time. You don't need to just come in and like, I like comparing it to working out. You can't go to the gym for 24 hours and get in shape. Like there's no amount of
Right.
working out in a row that you can do to get in shape. It's incrementally over time that gets you the results.
Yep.
Same thing with marketing. It doesn't need to be a crazy upfront expense. You can do it for cheaper, especially how we're doing it going into the end of the year. We made a plan that sets you up for 2026 without breaking the bank this year, but that's got to be at least a 30 or 40x return on the investment
Oh,
so
easily.
far.
Yeah, easily.
Nice. Yeah, and I feel like our specialty is really helping people refine their branding
Oh,
so that
yeah.
they get better leads, better attention. Because it's not just like these guys are like, oh, we'll get you 400 leads in 90 days, or we'll pay you $5,000 for wasting your time. Crazy ads, because it's like they don't even know who they're targeting. They don't understand the market. They don't understand what you
Right.
actually want. And the branding is a big thing because it's not just about how many leads you're getting in, but the quality of leads that you're getting. Are the people already convinced that you're the right option when they reach out to you? And just like you're seeing with some of the people, they're like, oh yeah, we loved the website, we saw your pictures, we read reviews, all
Yeah.
that stuff plays into it. That's all the foundational stuff that like you could throw 10 grand at marketing and not get a result if all of that stuff isn't on point. And so that's like, I would say our specialty is helping people get all of that stuff on point, getting the foundational stuff on point so that our marketing is actually effective. Because
Well, and
otherwise
that's
you're just
that's
wasting money.
yeah, that's the thing. And I'll tell you, there's a lady that does marketing for a living around here. And she reached out to me and she said, hey, I'm looking for a contractor to blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like Angie's Leads, but she was a local girl. And I was like, okay, it's not going to cost me anything. But if I got a job, I'd have to give her like, you know, 3% or 5% or whatever it was. I got 87 leads, 87 leads. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I did 87 bids and I got 2 jobs.
Mm,
And I was like, and it was like stuff like putting furniture together, wallpaper, wallpaper tear out, nothing on decks, nothing on fences. There's all this repairs and all this other stuff, more like handyman stuff, which I
yeah.
don't mind because it's money coming in. But then when I went with you, like literally out the gate, 9 leads, 6 sign-ons, and 3, juries out, but I'm sure that they'll come back around. That's insane. That's like
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
close rate on that is insane. And I would never in my life thought I would ever make that much money. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at if my close rate's in the 80s and 90s, now you have some hard numbers to be like, okay, if I get, if I get 100 people that call me, I'm gonna get 80 to 90 jobs. That's that's crazy. That's crazy talk. And so I think this is a no-brainer. That's like one of the best decisions I've made on a business standpoint is I honestly believe that it was fate. Because I'm telling you what, before I even reached out to you, I probably saw your ad 20 times. And I was like, man, why does this keep popping up? Oh, and it kept doing it. It kept doing it. I was like, all right, I'm just going to see what this guy's about. And when I found out it's a guy, not necessarily like this big conglomerate, I was set at ease. And then when the knowledge that you had, the things that you were helping me with and walking me through and when we had that conversation, the first Zoom meeting, you were talking about, hey, you do some good work. I don't see really any code violations in your pictures. It's like, hold on a second. This guy can see code violations from pictures. Like, that's what I see now. And I'm just like, okay, like this guy's legit. Like he knows his shit. He knows about decks. He knows what he's doing about all the social media, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do it. I mean, it's so much easier to pay and have that ongoing all the time and having the steady business and revenue coming in to see what it's all about, as opposed to paying 10, 15, 20 grand up front. It's like, who does that? Who can afford that? People that get a small business loan of a few $100,000, yeah, they could probably do that, but that's dumb. Why would they do that? So I feel like that's where I was at on it is you were a human being doing what we do with Dex, but doing it on the marketing side and not killing somebody with pricing. So, and then once we started to going through the process was super easy, super informative. It really made me think out of the box on a lot of things, but just the thought of what you get for the money with you is like, I would say it's a no-brainer. I mean, I haven't had any down weeks at all since we went with you. So I just think it's money well spent. And if you're on the fence, just do it.